My personal style is changing, and I have no idea what it is anymore. So earlier this year, I felt like I was getting a pretty good handle on what my personal style was, but one thing that I didn't realize at the time is that all the advice tells you when you're thinking about what your personal style is and defining it, that you should use things like your lifestyle or your body type or the colors that look good on you to figure out what kinds of garments that you should wear and how you should put outfits together. And that is all wonderful advice. But one thing that I haven't really heard a lot is how much your emotional state or your mood has an effect on your personal style. Lately, I've been going through some emotional upheaval, and the kinds of things that I liked to wear earlier this year or earlier this summer just don't feel right on me anymore. Whenever I tried to put on clothes in big bold prints or really loud colors, it just didn't really feel right anymore. It didn't feel appropriate. It didn't feel like me. And instead, I've been finding myself gravitating more towards quieter silhouettes, a little bit more minimal, a little bit more classic. And so I decided that I needed to just go back to basics, start at the beginning, and try to figure out what is my personal style for this upcoming fall and winter of 2023. And I thought I'd bring you along for the journey. So let's get started with step 1. For me, step 1 was going through old outfits and trying to figure out what I liked and what I didn't like. Now, because I do post videos to YouTube and lots of photos on Instagram, I have a vast back catalog of outfits that I could go through, so I just scrolled through my camera roll and saved 2 folders, one with my favorites and one of dislikes, and then I didn't really think too hard as I was going through. Just if I stopped on a photo and it caught my eye and I was like, I really like that outfit, I saved it to the favorites. And the same for the dislikes. If I just stopped on it and was like, oh, I don't like that one, I just went ahead and saved it to my dislikes folder. Now, if you are not like me and you don't have a vast library of outfits already saved to choose from, then I have some advice for you if you want to do this exercise for yourself. I would advise that you take a photo of your outfit every day for a month, or at least a minimum of 3 weeks. You could simply just get dressed in the morning and then take a quick mirror selfie. Make sure it's a full body shot so you can see the whole outfit. And at the end of that month, do the exact same thing that I just said. Have an album with your favorites and an album with outfits that you didn't like, and just have a little library of outfits that you can look at. Now, the second thing that you want to do is you want to look more carefully through those folders and figure out exactly what it is that you liked or disliked. And it's really important to write these things down because we're going to be using them later. So to give you a concrete example for myself, when I was going through my likes folder, I noticed that there were a lot of outfits that I had saved with me wearing wide leg pants. I just really tend to like that silhouette on myself. And conversely, I really tended not to like the outfits where I was wearing skinny jeans or leggings. Now, this is where your own preferences are so much more important than any advice that you might get from someone else. Now, earlier this year, I did get my colors done and my body typing done, and I was typed as a soft gamine in the Kibbe body typing system. And according to Kibbe, soft gamines should only wear cropped, tight-fitting pants. So I did try that for a few months. I tried to only wear slimmer fitting pants, but when I was scrolling through my past outfit photos, the evidence was just there right in front of me. I don't like the way that skinny pants look on me. And to me, the answer is really obvious why. It's because I'm very, very short and I have short legs, and I also have very muscular legs. So anytime I wear something that's so tight that you can see the outline of my legs, I just feel like I look even shorter and chunkier. So just my personal preference, I don't really feel comfortable in pants like that. And when I wear the wider leg styles, I feel like it looks a little bit more streamlined and you see more of me as a whole, rather than the eye just being drawn straight to my really short legs. So undoubtedly, when you look through your past outfit photos, some of those things will stick out to you. Maybe it's a color that you really love wearing, or a color that really doesn't flatter you, or maybe it's a type of garment that you really like to wear, or a certain silhouette, or maybe it's like a style feel, like you really like yourself in bohemian outfits, but not so much in preppy outfits. Make sure that you write all of that down, and then we're gonna head to the next step. So now it's time to start pinning. Now technically you don't have to use Pinterest for this. I do find it the easiest tool to use, but you could use Google image search and just save things to your computer or your phone. But for my example, I used Pinterest because I just found it very helpful. I created a new board, which I just called something like Fall Winter 2023 Mood Board, and I had my 2 lists of likes and dislikes with me. Now, in order to find pins that I wanted to save to this board, I started with my likes list and I would just type in a search term using that list. So for an example, I would type in wide leg pants fall outfit because that's the season that I am headed into. Your mileage may vary. Now at this stage, when you're looking at the searches that come up, just save anything that catches your eye. It doesn't necessarily have to be about the search term that you're actually looking for. If you just see something like a color or a texture that you really like, go ahead and save it to your mood board because we're gonna organize things later. Now, one thing that I will say in this stage that it's really important to keep in mind is you wanna have your dislikes list handy. And the reason that I say that is because let's say I'm looking for ballet flats fall outfits and I'm scrolling through and I find this pin of someone who's wearing really skinny pants with ballet flats and she looks great. I'm specifically not going to save that pin to my mood board because I know that I don't like the way that I look in skinny pants. And I don't want to get distracted because what I find on Pinterest, what happens a lot of the time, is that I'm saving images where the model looks fantastic and I think that she looks great, and so I'm seeing her more than I'm seeing myself wearing those garments. So I would say specifically avoid saving images that have things on your dislikes list because you want to avoid distractions. That way, when you comb through your list more carefully in the next step, you'll know that these outfits are things that you would actually wear yourself, and you're not just looking at a model and how she looks in her outfit. I also just want to say that this process should be kind of a slow one. Don't try to do it all in one day. I think it's actually really good to take your time and digest the information that you're taking in and do it over several days because we want to be thoughtful here. We're trying to figure out what our personal style is, and that's just not something that you can do in one day. So heading into the next step, which is organizing our mood board into themes. Now these themes are going to be individual to each person, and I'll tell you in a second how I ended up organizing my boards, but I would say kind of slowly and carefully look through all of the pins that you saved to your mood board and try to come up with some concepts that just are grouped together and really stand out to you. And that's going to be different for everybody. So some people might organize things according to, certain garment types kept coming up again and again. Like you pinned a lot of ballet flat outfits. Or again, maybe it's more of a style ID. Like you have a lot of pins that are more of an edgy style, and then you have another series of pins that are more of a romantic style. So you might want to organize your board like that. Or maybe you want to organize according to your lifestyle. So you've got several athleisure outfits, or you have several work outfits, and that's how you want to organize your boards. The way that you organize your boards doesn't really matter, but the point is we want to narrow things down to some repeating concepts that we can use in our own lives that's going to be useful to us. So if you're not familiar, in a Pinterest board now, you can organize pins into different sections. You would just go into your board, click the organize button, select a bunch of photos that fall under the category that you want to save, then you just name that category and save it, and all of your pins that you've selected get moved to that category. Now, when I was scrolling through my mood board, the thing that really stuck out to me was different colors and color combinations that kept popping up again and again. So although this is not something that I normally do, I went ahead and saved my pins as different colors, and then I took the extra step of creating a color palette for myself for the fall and winter season. Now I say color palette, I think when most people do a color palette, they probably organize it into like 5 to 7 different colors. I think I have like 14 different colors on my color palette, so it's a fairly broad palette, but putting it up on the screen, I think that you can see a common theme here. Now, the way that I saw things working out for myself for my wardrobe is that, like I said in the beginning, I just haven't been gravitating towards wearing all bright, bold colors all the time, but I do still like to wear color. The way that I see myself utilizing color in this upcoming season is more of an accent. So going back to my color palette, I can see myself pulling more from the neutrals at the top or the more muted tones in the middle, or a combination of those two. And then just using the accent colors at the bottom as a pop of color rather than having it dominate the whole outfit. So something like a handbag or shoes, or maybe like a layering piece like a cardigan. But it's really unlikely that I see myself pulling all of my items from the bottom accent row and building an outfit together. I'm just not feeling that much color right now. Now the next step in the process is to go through your closet and pull out things that match your themes. However you've organized your boards in Pinterest, we're gonna pull items that you already own and try to build some outfits. We're definitely not trying to buy anything or make anything new just yet. And the next step in the process is going to be taking clothes that we already own, using those Pinterest outfits as inspiration, and trying to put together similar outfits to see if it's really reflective of how we want to dress ourselves in our new personal style. So that's what you're gonna see next week. I hope that you will come back and join me. And if you want even more fall inspiration, watch this video next.